Hello, hello, hello. I wrote a letter to the Chinese Prime Minister or chairperson, Li Keqiang. He was voted in this month in March. And my hope is that he cares and that he will do something for the animals. I will post the letter under the video. This is just an example letter, just like a guardrail letter, so to speak. I want people to write this same letter in their own words, in their own style, but always be friendly, always be polite, always be diplomatic. Never put pressure on someone, just state the urgency of the situation and make a plea. It's a petition. Please do something to help the animals, make it better. So if you can write a letter to him, it's just an email. You don't even have to write a paper letter. You can do that too if you want to, but right now it's not the time really for that. So we have email available, and I will also post the link to his contact page. Towards the bottom of the contact page on the right side, in small blue print, is contact and email, and you click contact or you contact him, and not directly on email, but above that where it says contact or write letter or something, and then your server will open and it will already have his contact email in the addressee field, and all you need to do is you put a subject, the title for the email, in the dedicated line, and then in the text area you put your letter, and you can use my letter as an informative letter, and then just write it in your own words. So that would be really great if you could do this. So my letter to him is in regards to the coronavirus and what started it. The animal meat trade markets have caused the coronavirus. They also have caused the prion protein, which was going on around 2003. That was very severe. It affected our dogs, and it was officially called mad cow disease. It was also called spongiform encephalitis, caused by a protein. A virus is also sort of functioning in a very similar way like this. Virus is just RNA. This is just a sequence, a protein sequence, which can easily embed itself into a cell and then change the RNA sequence in the cell that the cell originally had. So it kind of hijacks cells. So the prion protein works differently. It docked itself onto cells and killed brain cells. So you have no idea what kind of stuff can evolve when animals, any kind of animals bred in facilities, in these meat market chambers, bats that they fed meat pellets to. Bats are they're omnivores. They have to eat a very wide variety of natural, pristine food out in nature. They have to fly. They have to be happy, but they can't even fly. They're just hanging there, and they're being fed meat pellets or whatever, some dead animal sludge whatever, whatever's the cheapest that they always get a hold of. That's also fed to cows, pigs, any animal in Asia. They have dog meat chambers and facilities, and it's absolutely horrific what's going on. And so when they're feeding these meat pellets that contain all kinds of diseases, and it's just an endless cycle of animals consuming other animals in an endless chain. What comes out of this are horrific things, horrific diseases that can evolve out of this, as just prion protein chains, completely mutated protein chains that will come out of this, that in new combinations that can be harmless, or it can also be very dangerous, or can be doing all kinds of different things. Dangerous. It can become very dangerous, as now with the coronavirus. So it can create an RNA that is so dangerous, that is such a dangerous virus, that it can completely make an organism very, very sick and die, as in this case with suffocation, and that's a horrific way of dying. Okay, so we need to become very aware about this and not allow it, and we need to do whatever we can, as activists, as not just as activists, that's just another label. I'm a concerned person. That makes me become an activist. Become an activist out of compassion, not because you're identified with something. Okay, this is not some kind of group. I'm not belonging to a group. That's also another misunderstanding that I hear in on the internet all the time. That people always say, "Oh, these people there, it's some kind of fad, or it's some kind of group, or some kind of movement." No, it's not. Okay, concerned people, when they see something, they brainstorm on it, and they think about it day and night, and they think about, what can I do? What can I do in my humble leverage or no leverage that I have? What can I do as just an average resident on Earth, or universal resident? What can I do to help? How can I help? And then you put your mind on it. And so this is one way of helping, is writing letters, plea letters, petition letters to legislators. It started in China, so this needs to be addressed in China. So I put my hope into Li Keqiang. Okay, I hope that he cares. I hope that he will do something about this. I hope that he will outlaw all those animal meat trade markets in China. Okay, that has to be outlawed. I also wrote a very similar letter to Donald Trump. So I want other people to do the same thing. I want you to write a letter or an email to Donald Trump and ask him to outlaw all the meat trade markets, the bear gallbladder market, and you can also add that into the letter for Li Keqiang, that he also needs to outlaw the bear gallbladder market. That's also, I'm going to write that. I forgot to add that into it. I'm going to write that after this here. I'm going to write another letter to him and ask him about this, because that is absolute horror. So we cannot tolerate something like this, okay? And I ask him to outlaw the dog meat trade, and I also, in my next letter, also will ask him to outlaw any kind of meat trade, including there are also selling cat meat trade, small cats and large cats, and it's all unacceptable. Okay, we need to do something about this. We need to write petition letters to our legislators and write it in your own words. And it is very important that we all become whole food vegan. This is very important. Okay, this is not some kind of identification or fad, or it's neither masculine nor feminine. It has nothing to do with all of these role attributions that I see that people are doing. It's very irritating for me to see this, that people are they're picking up some kind of brainwashing methods from the corporate agenda, the meat industry in general, worldwide. They use market psychologists to influence people and to hitchhike with their insecurities and to attach something onto something else that doesn't even belong together, like, masculinity and a specific way of eating or something, or femininity and a specific way of eating. So they're very eager to latch onto this and then install that into people's brains, almost like someone is programming a program. So I want people to not be programmable in that way, to stand up against this and say, I'm done with all of this programming, with all of this corporate influencing, with these terrible market psychologists influencing me, using my anxieties and my worries and my peer pressure fears that I already have, and attaching certain things to it. If you buy this washing detergent, then you will be part of the rat hat lady society. I'm just using this as an example. That's kind of like what they're doing, and they're doing it in the most incognito ways you can possibly imagine. They're very sneaky with this. They study the public, they study us in depth now more than ever. Now they have a buffet of material, on Facebook in particular. Facebook is really a tool now, has become probably the number one tool for the corporate agenda. So, and I'm very sad that Mark Zuckerberg is okay with all of this, so I think that's disappointing. That's why I quit Facebook. I also quit Twitter because it was just so depressing for me to see, so to see all this gossiping and this propaganda going on non-stop. Okay, very, very depressing. And I don't want anything to do with this. YouTube is still the absolute best social media website there is. YouTube is stellar. They have their issues. They got issues. They got infiltrators too, as almost every company, or I would say every company has infiltrators. Elon Musk has tons of infiltrators in his company that are trying to sabotage his work all the time. I think that's why the rockets blew up, okay? Because of saboteurs that are trying to damage his machinery all the time, non-stop. So I gotta end the video now. Write a letter to Li Keqiang and urge him to outlaw the dog meat trade market and all animal meat trade markets and all of these slaughter chambers that's going on. They all need to be outlawed. Okay, you guys take care. Bye bye.